Hey, this is Pastor Dave, and this is your Monday Mojo. Hope you had a great weekend. So, Laura and I took a trip last week to New Jersey, to her homeland, and it was an interesting travel trip. Um, on the way out there, it was interesting. We landed in Philadelphia and then took a bus from Philadelphia to Atlantic City, an American Airlines bus. Kind of crazy, right? And in the process, they lost our luggage. It took them till the end of the night for us to get it to us. That's better than some people who lose it for days. And then on the way back, when we flew back, the airplane smelled like an outhouse, and the one flight attendant was as friendly as a wet cat and wore her earbuds in her ears while she was working. And, but I got to thinking at one point I was talking with Laura and I said, when all this kinds of stuff happens, and when we go on these trips, I realized something that try to keep in mind that we left a home that we live in, paid some money, and got on a huge tube and flew through the air, got on the bus and drove to another site, stayed in a hotel that night, and that's a whole story in and of itself. And then her Aunt Nancy came and picked us up, and we went and spent the week at her home. And then we got back on that tube and flew back to Indianapolis. And I, I forget how wealthy I am. Forget that that really makes us wealthy. Not wealthy like we both said. If we were really wealthy and won the lottery, we'd get a private jet. Although my friend Kevin Bennett, who's a private pilot, said, "You don't want to do that. It eats up a lot of money." So I said, "Well, how about a charter?" He said, "That'd be the way to go." If we're really wealthy, that's what we do. But really, when we say we're really wealthy, what we're really saying is we're not wealthy, but really on the scale of the world, on the scale of life, that's wealthy. To be able to stay in one home, stay in a hotel room, stay in another home, and be treated to fabulous Chez Nancy food and hospitality, and then to come back all in a week's time. That's that is real wealth, and I don't want to forget that just because some things didn't go the way I would like them to go. I don't want to be nose up in the air, dude. Like the place smelled like a bathroom, and she wasn't. Yeah, was it an inconvenience? Yes, but the the sheer amount of blessing and wealth that I have to be able to do that is truly amazing. And even I think I've never been this, but I've worked with and been around the poorest of the poor in America. Even the poorest of the poor in America are still in a way better place than many people around the world. So I get to thinking about that and I thought, that comes down to being grateful and thankful. That comes down to saying, thank you, God. Thank you for allowing me to live in this country. Thank you for allowing me to make a living and to manage money and to take a trip and to go away. And and I think that is a much better place to be than the one who's like, well, they didn't get our luggage and the plane smelled like an outhouse and she had her earbuds in. And I told you that whole story because it was weird, it was odd, but it's still a tremendous sign of blessing and wealth to be able to do that. And I want to be a thankful person and a grateful person for that. Anyway, those are my thoughts. That's your Monday Mojo. Have yourself a great week.